Okay, my name is Wasps vs Humans, and I want to talk a little bit about how I got into music and how I got into the arts. When I was about 14, my friends wanted to form a band. We loved music, we loved watching all the punk bands and things like that. So what we did was we formed a band. Mainly in our bedrooms, we got some crappy guitars together. We weren't very good, we couldn't really play our instruments, and we got together and we called ourselves Persecution Complex, and we got together and played our guitars, and we only knew a couple of chords, and but it was great fun, and we felt like we were something. We were in a band, and that's all we talked about, what we lived for. And I used to be a drummer. I had this really crappy old drum that I used to bang, and it was just fantastic. And that was the great thing about the punk things. Punk was all about not having to be very good. You could just play, learn a few chords, bash your drum. It was all fantastic. We did a couple of gigs. We did a gig at a youth club and a community centre, and it was all pretty small. And then after that, I got into a better band, and I joined 4 Million Telephones. We got a bit more serious. And at that point, I got into singing. I wasn't just the drummer anymore. I played the drums on some songs, and then I sang as well, but it wasn't really singing, it was more shouting. It was all about beats and drums and rhythms. It had a punk feel to it, but it also had a funky feel to it as well. And I was into bands like The Fall and Cabaret Voltaire and those kind of experimental bands. We got into all this crazy, weird music, and we got a little record deal, and we released a record. Because people release records, they're not CDs, and that was pretty cool. And we got played on the radio, but late night things, and we were doing quite well. And we did Germany, we did a little tour Germany. It was all going pretty good, and we thought we were going to do good things with this. And the music papers, posted pictures of us as well. Really going great, but then we all kind of split up, and that was quite hard to not do any more music. So it was difficult because we invested so much emotional energy into doing it, and it all just went to shit really. And we didn't, it all went down the plug hole. So that was it. It was like I thought I was going to become famous, and then I wasn't. I was just like everybody else. So I thought, but then me and the guitarist Egg and the saxophone player Rick, we got together and we formed a band called Monkeys with Clothes On. Crazy name. And we came up with that because we figured that all we could evolve from monkeys. So the idea is we were all just monkeys with clothes on, really. Monkeys that we've got a bit more speech, and we can wear clothes and shoes and hats and ties. So that's what we were. But we kind of took on the crazy element of the music from the 4 Million Telephones, but we added a kind of a funky groove to it. And I was just a singer then, not the drummer, and we got a great drummer in called Trevor Fernley, and a bass player called Eddie Thompson. We really grooved that. We did some great shows. There was one that was recorded actually at the grandstand in Lincoln, and it was a fantastic concert. I had this man bushy hair and braces, and we just had a great night, really great night. So that band continued, but we had different lineup changes. We'd changed bass players. We couldn't seem to settle on the bass player. We had about 3 different bass players. But that fizzled out as well. It was sort of destined to not really make it as a musician. I was getting older. I was in my 30s now. Times were kind of running out. Came to live in Ireland. Had children. Settled down with a family and a job. And the dreams kind of drifted back into the background. But then I got into writing, and I got into writing plays and scripts. And then I decided to get into punk poetry, and that's when Wasps versus Humans was born. Punk poetry, spitting words out into the camera. I loved it. This is what it was all about. Wasps versus Humans. I've done gigs all over Ireland. I've done videos. I've done gigs. I've been on the radio. So that's what I do now, is Wasps vs Humans. It's like punk poetry. I do beats behind it, I bang a drum. All the elements that I used to do throughout my younger career. I scream and shout the words out. I bang my drum to beats, and I did a single called Ugly America, which got me into trouble a few times. So I did this gig at the DeBarras folk club in Clonakilty, and I did the song. And I came off, and the entire first 2 rows were all American people. And I started off with my Ugly America song, Fat, Rich, Ugly America. So I've done some singles, I've released some things under the Wasps Humans. And as I said, things don't work out sometimes. You have these dreams when you're younger about becoming famous, and you know, it doesn't work. But what you got to remember is it's great fun, and it's not just about being famous. It's about having fun with the art. It's playing music. It's enjoying music, and it's all great fun. So be creative.